LP kind of a... Well, who am I kidding? It's an LP of a PC game, which is not normal for me. As you know, I normally do Nintendo games, but I'm going to go ahead and get started here because this file size is going to be humongous, so I'll try to explain things as I go here. This is my first time recording a PC game, and I'm using Fraps to do the recording. Holy crap-a-lony, yeah. You might as well get used to pictures like that, because that's what your game's going to look like later on. This is my house, and these are the zombies that have come to invade my house, so I have to stop them. And there's only one way to do that, is to build plants. So pick on a seed packet to pick it up. Click on the grass to plant your seed. Nicely done! Oh, that was so hard. Click on the falling sun to collect it. Keep on collecting sun. You need it to grow more plants. As you can see, your sun is in the top left corner. So as you collect plants, or as you collect sun, you'll be able to use it to build more plants. As you can see, I can now afford another pea shooter because I have another 100 sun. And you basically plant the pea shooters on your lawn, and they shoot the zombies with their peas, and that's how you protect your house. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Now, it may seem to be a little too simple at first, but trust me, it gets a lot more complicated the further you get into the game. So, because first of all, you're not always just going to have one row of grass here. It's going to add more rows, and you're going to have to keep up with each individual row. And you'll only be able to plant like one thing on each row, or well, you'll be able to plant several things on each row, but you'll have to keep track of what rows you got. At the end of each stage, it's going to drop a card, a new kind of flower that you can use in the next stage. And pretty much, you'll keep building up these different kinds of flowers until you have a whole collection. Eventually, you'll have so many flowers, you'll have to choose which ones you can use on a specific stage. So now I believe it's going to roll out, yeah, 2 more rows. This is really boring. So it's starting with 50 sun. Typically, a stage will start you with 50 sun. So we're going to plant a sunflower this time because that's all we can afford. It's only 50. And as you can see, it recharges. So you can only plant it again once it's recharged. So even if you have the sun for it, you might not be able to plant it right away. But the great thing about sunflowers is they put off sun, which is going to be pretty much your primary source of power. You'll have sun that comes down from the sky, but you can also use the sun from the sunflowers to collect more sun faster. And the faster you build up your sun, the faster you can bring out the artillery to take out the zombies. And so this all feels way too simple. I'm almost like frustrated that I can't get to the really good part of the game where you really see more action than this. Because in all honesty, it starts out really slow. And just watching this now, this is going to be so freaking boring, I can't even imagine. And I don't know if this is really a fun game to watch as much as it is to play. Because I'll tell you, I'll sit down with this game and I will play it for like hours and hours and hours. And it is so freaking addicting. I don't know what it is about it. I've tried other PC games like Angry Birds. I've actually played it. And I don't know. I just think Angry Birds is boring. It's one of those games where you have to somersault things up and hit things in the... You know, I was never really good at those games because there's no exact science to it. So you can't see exactly what you're doing every time you're doing it, so you kind of... You know, you're just kind of winging it and hoping you push it the right way. It seems too luck-based, I don't know, but that's just me. As you can see, I mean, I think that's pretty much, you know, just watching what I'm doing here, you can kind of see how the game works. But as I said before, it'll get a lot more complicated than this. So every wave of zombies is going to come... You'll see down in the lower right corner, actually, level 1-2, that each level has several waves of zombies that will come to your house. And the head will gradually move towards the left as you get closer to the end of the level, until finally you reach the final wave. And when that wave comes, you better have your defenses good and hard, because they're going to come after you. Now, in the event that a zombie actually makes it to one of your flowers, he'll start eating it. And it'll only take a few seconds. He'll eat that flower, he'll move on to the next one, all the way until he gets to your house. Now, you have lawnmowers here that will actually clear out a row of zombies one time to protect you. But after that, once the lawnmower's gone, if you had to use it, then that row's going to be vulnerable for any future zombies to come through, and you'll have to be very careful. Now, Cherry Bomb. Cherry Bomb is a good plant for well, how do I say it? Please give me the... Oh, you're not going to give me the 5 rows? Jeez, man, this is boring. Yeah, so Cherry Bomb's an interesting flower because you can wipe out huge amounts of zombies with it, especially on a 3-row setup like this, which is not going to be normal. It's always going to be 5 or 6 rows that you're going to be playing with. And as you can see, we're all the way back at the beginning of the level now, so... I just like to go ahead and get my sunflowers out early. Even if you start to see zombies coming, don't panic, because as you can see, they move very slowly. So, you have plenty of time to get a pea shooter out and stop him. Like, he could be halfway across the screen, like right here, and you could still pretty much, you know, have time to beat him. If you watch really closely, you can see that they actually take a specific number of hits. Like, I believe these ones take 10 hits. And once their head falls off, they're done, so you don't have to worry about them anymore. But sometimes even after their head falls off, they'll still absorb your shots for a little bit before their body falls down, which can be annoying, you know, because then you can't get to the zombies behind them until they're dead, so we better put another one out here. You can also see the cherry bombs cost 150 suns, so they're pretty expensive. So it's not something that you would use normally. It's more of kind of a last resort item, or as I have come to call him, the SMPP, which is... No, TSPP, which is Temporary Solution to Permanent Problem. That's, I don't know, you might hear me saying that throughout the LP, the TSPP, which is Temporary Solution to Permanent Problem, because it is a temporary solution, it'll wipe them out, but then more will come behind it. So you're better off spending your sun on something permanent that's always going to be there to help you out. Now, these zombies with cones on their heads have a lot more HP, and they're a lot harder to deal with. One pea shooter might not be enough to take them out, so make sure when you see one, you have at least 2. And once the cone falls off their head, then they got that perfectly round head, ripe for the smashing with the peas. And so there it is, pretty much, Plants vs. Zombies. That's the name of the game, and that's pretty much what it's about. I'm not sure how many levels I'm going to show in each episode of this. There's basically, it goes from level 1-3 all the way to level 110. Then it goes to level 2-1. Kind of like Super Mario Brothers. And there's 5 levels in all, so the final level is level 510. But it's going to take you a long time to get there. I'll tell you that right now. Once we get the final wave of zombies, I'll show off these cherry bombs. I guess we can throw another pea shooter out here. Get this guy out of here a little quicker. It's a beautiful game, and it's got really good music. I love the music. So here's what you can do when you have a huge wave of zombies approaching. A cherry bomb actually covers 3 rows. So you're going to want to put it in the middle of the 3 rows that you're trying to decimate. So we'll let these guys come out here a little bit. You can see there's a lot of zombies now, 5 or 6 of them at once. But if you put out a cherry bomb like this, bam! They're all gone, just like that. And that's the end of the round. Now we have another plant here. This one's called a walnut. It's more of a defensive plant, and it can actually be one of the most useful ones in the game. There's a stronger version of it that comes up later called a tall nut, but I'll explain more about that later. Here we go, now we got 5 rows, now we're talking. Now this is Plants vs. Zombies right here. So right away, get your sunflowers going, because the more sun you have, the more plants you can plant. As you can see, these have to recharge as well, so you can't just sit here and spam plants anytime you want, just because you have a lot of sun. You'll still have to wait for them to recharge, and that's a genius move by the programmers. I mean, I guess you would have had to do something like that. But they made this game is pretty much unbreakable, like, as far as I've seen. Like, you really do have to be careful what you do. So this is how the walnuts work. Basically, you get a zombie who's coming close to your house and you don't have any defense, set up a walnut, and he'll stop and start eating it. And this is what happens when a zombie comes up to one of your flowers. He'll start eating it. And normally, it will only take him like 1 or 2 seconds to eat the flower. But if it's a walnut, as you can see, he'll be stuck there eating on that for a long time. Like, it'll last at least probably 20 seconds. And it'll buy you some time for your next flower to recharge. As you see, I had to wait for it to recharge before I could put it out there. And then he's totally vulnerable to the shots as he's eating the walnut. So that'll keep him stopped there for a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and get another sunflower out here. Probably in the early levels, 5 sunflowers should be enough. There are actually night levels where sun won't fall from the sky like this, and you'll have to rely solely on your sunflowers for all of your sun. So, but that's coming up later. Now, if you have something like this, it's like, you know, you might want to take that out. I don't know, I'll leave it there, but it's just more of a distraction than anything. As you can see, this guy's getting pretty far here. Let's go ahead and finish up our defense here. Row 4 is down here is looking pretty snazzy. If I refer to a row by a number, I'll usually mean row 1 right here. Row 2 is second from the top. Row 3 is the middle. Row 4 is down here, and then row 5 at the bottom. So as I say, row 4. We might not have enough time to get this one. We'll have to see. 1, 2, 3, 4. On the 5th hit, his arm falls off. Yep. 6, 7, 8. That's too close. Yeah. So as you can see, temporary solution, permanent problem. But it got rid of him, so, you know, and now we have a pea shooter on each row, so it should be okay for the rest of the round. You could pretty much just let the rest of the round play out and you'd probably be okay. You just walk away from the computer and go make yourself a sandwich or something. We got a cone head down here, so, and as you can see, we have lots of sun that we've accrued because we have lots of sunflowers, so we might as well start planting some stuff here. Typically, you want to set up a nice defense like this here so they can't get to your flowers. And, you know, it's not likely they're going to get that far anyway, but if they do, it's good to have something there to make sure that they can't get all the way. The conehead got pretty far there, considering it was only one pea shooter. As you can see, one pea shooter against a conehead, he still gets pretty far before he dies. So that can become an issue. But we're okay. Let's go ahead and finish out our rows here. Set up the next walnut. And typically, this is what your defense is going to look like. You're going to have sunflowers at the very end, because you don't want your sunflowers to get eaten. That's the last thing you need, or else you have no, you know, artillery, nothing to build with. So you'll have sunflowers, and then you'll have your shooters and other assorted power-ups that will make them stronger, or whatever. And then at the very end, you'll have walnuts and other defensive-style items. And that's pretty much how it works. And we're coming up on, I don't know what time we're at, I can't really see. We'll use a cherry bomb just for fun. Pretty much any zombie, no matter how powerful they are, will be one-shot killed by the cherry bomb, with the exception of a couple at the very end of the game that take 2 cherry bombs to kill. There's also another type of bomb that destroys an entire row of zombies, like all the way across like this. This is the shovel, which enables you to dig up a plant if you want to replace it with something else. And yeah, dig up a plant, make room for another plant. Simple enough. So, oh my god, who is this guy? Greetings, neighbor! The name's Crazy Dave, but you can just call me Crazy Dave. Listen, I've got a surprise for you. But first, I'll need you to clear your lawn. Use your shovel and dig up those plants. Let the digging commence! Blah 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 blah. Simple enough. Okay, goody, now for the surprise. We're going bowling! Here, take this walnut. Why'd I put a walnut in your hand? Because I'm crazy! Now go, bowl me a winner. And so levels 1 through 5, as well as level 1 through 10, will be different from the other levels. Every 5th level will have you doing something unique like this right here. So basically, you're going to have walnuts coming up along the thing here, and you can take one out and use it to go after the zombies. And then you take another one and go out. But you can only use as many as, you know, you have at the top row. So obviously it's going to be really easy in this round because it's going to give you a lot more than you need. So you can just, you know, bowl them over. I prefer to wait till there are more zombies on the screen just so you can get more combos that way. So yeah. Also, the red walnuts are pretty much the equivalent of a cherry bomb, so you can use them to, you know, wipe out larger numbers of zombies in a smaller amount of time. Obviously, the conehead zombies will take 2 hits to kill, so not really an issue. Oh no, now I think I actually missed out on some money there. Sometimes they will drop money, and you gotta watch for that. I have a terrible habit of not picking up my money when I'm supposed to. So you can just take 2 cherry bomb walnuts and put them down rows 2 and 4, and wipe out everything all in one shot if you want. So if you saved them up, you know, because you have them showing up throughout the game here, so there's that. I'll tell you what though, this game is really addictive. I mean, I said it before and I'll say it again, I could play this game for hours. Once you get to the end of it, then it's kind of like, okay, I've played for all it's worth, but still, it's an enjoyable experience, and you probably won't get through it on your first try. I probably won't get through this without dying, I'll tell you that right now. Because it gets hard later on. It seems like rudimentary at this point, like a 2-year-old could do this, and pretty much, yeah. But, a huge wave of zombies is approaching. BAM! So long. That we're set up pretty nicely here with a nice red one here, so we'll just kind of concentrate on 2 rows. Once you learn how each of the plants works, you kind of learn how to use them together with each other. So I can kind of just use the bottom 2 rows here and then hit up the top 3 rows with this one, and bam. It's got pretty good range on that thing too, I'll tell you that right now. Just holy crap. And there it is, there's our next flower for us to head into World 1-6, or Level 1-6. These, I believe, are called potato bombers or something. You got a new plant, explodes on contact, but takes time to arm itself. Yes, when you first plant this plant, it won't actually be active as a mine. It's basically a mine. It kills the zombie in 1 hit. But when you plant it, it's not going to be ready to explode right away. It takes like 10 seconds. So this is one of those plants where you might want to, like, you know, plant it in advance, you know, and it's good for early, or, yeah, it's good for early in the level when, you know, when there's very few zombies on the screen to actually eat it. And wait a second, now we have to stop. Okay, because I'm only doing 5 levels per video because these file sizes are going to be humongous. So when I come back, when we come back, yes, we will be saved. When we come back, we will start Adventure Level 1-6. So thank you guys for joining me. I hope you don't mind that I'm doing a really weird game like this, but I've really wanted to do this because this is what makes me happy. And I gotta do what makes me happy. So long. I mean, so there. Not so long. But yeah, okay, so, that's all for this video. I will see you next time. Let's play Plants vs. Zombies. See you guys later.